Hi, beautiful beings. I am so grateful to be here with you for some plug in and power up. I'm going to give it a moment just to test the volume to make sure that y'all can hear me because I am live streaming in multiple places. And so sometimes the tech likes to glitch and glitch out. So when you arrive, please say hi. Let me know that you can hear me clearly and that I don't sound techni- technical, that glitchy, weird, I am a robot sound. Please let me know in the comments when you arrive. Say hi, and then we are good to go. I'm going to start my live stream here on Instagram as well, and I think we are good to go. All right. Welcome, everybody, to Plug In and Power Up. I am so grateful to be here with you for another beautiful Monday, high vibrational conversation around entering a state where you already know the answers. And again, if you're just tuning in, hi to everybody on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. If you're on Facebook, please let me know that you can hear me clearly and it's not garbly, that it's not making that technical sound. That would be really, really helpful because sometimes when I'm live streaming in multiple places, it does this, right? Tech does this sometimes. So I'm really excited for this conversation. As you can see, I have my massage table behind me here and I was about to take it down and I thought, you know what, I'm going to keep it up because there's a story that I want to share with you around being able to really follow our own flow and trusting that we do know the answers within. We all have the answers within. It's just sometimes I think we get a little not trusting. I think sometimes we question ourselves. I believe sometimes we get up in our head a little too much and then we start to make a mess of our own path and our own truth and our own reality and what we actually came here for. Now, when it comes to our purpose, I get this question a lot from people. What is my purpose? What am I here for? What's the big thing that I came here for? And I remember creators saying this to me many, 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 many years ago, like almost 20 years ago. They said, they kind of with a smile on their face, they said, you are here to create life. And then you're to experience that creation. And then you refine and you do it all over again, or you expand it and you create again. And I said, but what about our purpose? Like, what about the specifics of what I actually came here for? What did I come here for? What am I supposed to do? And again, the answer was always the same. You get to create your path. You get to create your life however you want, in whatever fashion, whatever way feels really, really good to you. I think where we get stuck and hung up is that we know the answers deep within. We know the truth. This is the thing. We know the truth. We know the most simple, natural, easy thing for us is usually our truth. That is our path. But we question it for whatever the reason. Maybe from our childhood we had doubt. Maybe somebody questioned who we were. Maybe we stepped into something unknown and someone poo-pooed upon us or judged us. And that caused us to question our deep knowing and we started to go within. We started to retract. And I was sharing over this last week, we had beautiful clients come up from Toronto, someone that I went to university with who we haven't seen each other in 25 years. 25 years. We went to university. She was the very first person that I met when I arrived at Western University. I was a day late Frosh Week and I was so nervous. I was so scared. I had that awful pit in my stomach. I was excited to go. I was excited for this new adventure, but I was really nervous to leave home. And I remember when my dad and mom dropped me off, my dad walks me into the dorm and I think my mom, she hung back a little bit because I think she was super emotional. And so we walk into the dorm, and Zara was the very first person that I saw. And she had this big smile, this radiant heart, this beautiful energy. And I was so grateful to meet someone like that on the way in because I was ready to turn around. I was ready to be like, get me out of here. I'm done. I'm out. I'm not doing this. I'm retracting. And fast forward 25 plus years later, she messages me and she says, I really want to do some work with you. And I said, well, most of the work that we do is online right now. She said, I'm really feeling called to come and see you in person. Is there any way we can come up to where you are? I'm like, yeah, well, it's 4.5 hours from Toronto. And she's like, we're coming. My friend and I, we're coming. And so we booked them a cottage over at my brother's lodge, which was my parents' lodge. And we had these 3 beautiful days together as a VIP session. And it was so incredible because this is why I left the massage table out. I took out my massage table out of storage for the first time since we packed everything up. Actually, probably even before that, because I put everything into storage with my massage table when I got pregnant with the twins, because I knew that doing sessions in the way that I was, having the massage table out, doing energy work the way that I did, that was going to have to take pause for a little while. And it did. So that was what, 6.5, almost 7 years ago, this beautiful massage table took a pause. and took a little hiatus, and I pulled it out of storage, and I had an emotional moment when I actually unfolded it. Because if ever you have held a massage table, it's heavy. And I lugged this massage table. This was the first one I had bought. I have three. This was the first one I bought when I was 23, 22. And this massage table walked with me into almost every single session that I've ever done. 15,000 plus one-on-one sessions. This massage table came to LA with me. Good morning. Hi, Heather. Heather, if you could let me know on Facebook that you can hear me okay, because last week when I had my mic plugged in, I sounded a little garbly. So if you could just let me know in the comments that I sound okay and that I'm not sounding all technical, that would be really, really helpful. So this massage table behind me here walked into every single session. It came to LA with me. It traveled across country with me. I walked this massage table into almost every client house that I did house calls, and I did a lot of house calls. And I'm bringing this forward because there's a path and a journey that you've already walked. There's a journey that you've already, thank you so much, Heather. There's a journey that you already know within you that is so natural to you. You have answers within. It's just a lot of times we question our path, we question who we are, we question what we're doing. And when Zara was here, she was asking, she said, did you always know? Because she knew me from university when I was studying health sciences. She said, did you always know that you were going to be a healer? And I said, I kind of did. I kind of knew that I would be a healer, because I said in my dorm room, first year university, my roommate, she said, we should set up a jar. We could make so much money, because our room was the designated room. It just became that, where everyone would come and talk to me about their things that they were moving through. Back then we'd call them problems. Whatever the issues were, the things that were going on in their world, they would come in, they'd drop in, and I would just know what to say. And I said, it wasn't until third year university, and university was like a bittersweet experience for me. There was a lot of expansion, a lot of growth, but it was very uncomfortable because I was 6.5 hours away from home. I went to a university that I didn't know I didn't know anybody. And so I'm walking into a very unknown, unfamiliar situation, not knowing what I was going to become, other than I was drawn to holistic healthcare. I was drawn to spirituality. I was drawn to meditation and yoga. How was I going to find my way in a very boxy, structured path? I could become a doctor. I could become a nurse. I could become a physiotherapist, an occupational therapist. I could become a midwife, massage therapist. But none of those seemed to land for me. I knew the answers within, but I was trying to put myself in a box. I was trying to contort myself into what was normal, what was considered a way. Meanwhile, inside, everything else was screaming, no, this is not the way. And thankfully, I was listening. And I think this is the thing that we need to come back to when we have the answers, when we know the answers deep within. And this is about coming back to the state where we already know the answers. And Gabriel said this to Zara. This story today is going to all weave together. So hang tight with me here. Gabriel said to Zara many times over the weekend. So we sat down for the first time again, seeing Zara was so beautiful. It was so emotional. It was amazing. And we start the session the first night, and we open it up and we said, okay, we had the intake form for the VIP session. And then we said, is there anything that's changed? And they said, oh my gosh, so much has changed. There's all sorts of other things. We want to discover past lives. We want to go into intuition. And there were like a number of different things. And there were so many beautiful questions. And Gabriel right away said, I want you to enter a state tonight where you already know. And this was one of the cards from my Divine Wisdom deck, which is really interesting because I don't even think Gabriel knows that this is one of the cards. Enter a state where you already know the answers. Enter a state where you already know the answers. And so he kept bringing this forth. And the more he did, it reminded them of what they do already know within. Whew, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Whew. So he kept reminding them. Excuse me. He kept reminding them. And the more he reminded them, the more they came into their clarity. Answers would arrive. Insights would drop down. Her grandmother would step in. Things would come. Vision would open. See, a lot of times we stop trusting ourselves because maybe the external world says that it's not okay, it's not safe. Maybe an experience that we had said to our own self, our own perception said it's not safe. You have to question yourself. Thank you. You have to question yourself. We all know answers within. Just like for me, I knew from a very young age, I wanted to become some form of a healer. I studied meditation, self-studied meditation and yoga when I was 14. I knew that this spiritual path was a part of me. It is me. But then when we look out into the world and we try to place ourselves in the world's either going to accept that because it's acceptable, or if you're walking on the fringe like I have my entire life, you're not going to fit into the mainstream. You're not going to fit into what everybody else is doing. You can try to contort yourself, you can try to force yourself, you can try to negate yourself. And I think this is what people have done over time is we've negated ourselves, negated our natural intuition, our natural knowing, and try to place ourselves, box ourselves into an experience that's maybe not us. And then people wonder why they feel so unfulfilled, or people wonder why they feel like they're missing something, or people are always searching for the answers, searching for the why. One of the conversations that we had with one of the girls who was here, I said, you need to stop asking why and start asking what. What is this? And then move the energy and clear it. But the more we ask why, it's like the child within. Why? Why is it like that? Why do we do that? Why is that there? Why is this thing coming up? Why? It's a never ending why and a never ending cycle because you get the answer to one why and then you have another why. Now, if you're curious, you can keep doing that for sure. However, if you want answers, whatever the answers may be for you, what is it that you're seeking? What do you want to know? Is it something about yourself? Is it something about your path? Is it your purpose? Is it about what the heck's going on in the world? Is it the future of mankind? What are the big questions that you are asking yourself? And then if you could take out why and ask what is it that I want to explore? What is the highest and best good? What is the path that you want me to walk? When I started asking that question instead of why am I here? As you can imagine, even if I ask myself that question now, why am I here? Y'all, there are so many answers. Why am I here? Well, I'm here to create. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to have joy. I'm here to have babies. I'm here to make family. I'm here to be of service. I'm here to be, I could go on and on and on and on and on. And if you're taking action on the then you will feel fulfilled because you're fulfilling everything that drops down. But what happens is we're like, but why? Why am I drawn to the mystical arts? Why am I drawn to spirituality? I never asked that when I was younger. Why am I drawn to spirituality? Why did I study yoga and meditation at 14? Why was my intuition open? I never asked that. My next question was always, what am I going to do with this? How am I going to be of service? Show me the path. And I would go within, this is before AI, this is before computers, this is before computers probably existed, but not in our hands. This is before the internet existed in our hands. So I always went within to get answers. I never consulted an AI thing. I never consulted an encyclopedia. I went in. Enter a state where you already know the answers. This is going to be your greatest guide. I was thinking about this morning as Gabriel and I just launched our new modalities that we've been doing for years, but it came down that we wanted to fulfill upon that and really teach people exactly what Gabriel and I do down to a T. And so I have soul resonance alchemy and Gabriel has energy shaping. But I was thinking about this morning. I'm like, something else that I think I want to facilitate for you all, if those of you that are interested, is to dive deeper into your own path, into your own curiosity, into your own soul blueprint, and uncover what you came here to deliver to the planet. Now, if that speaks to you, just type purpose in the comments below. Because I have this strong feeling that a big part of what my next evolution is for all of you is to help you discover and uncover and remember what you came here to do, what you came here for. You all can learn 1,000 things. I've learned so many different modalities. And then I had to strip away some and I had to come back to what am I here for? What did I come here for? What is my higher purpose? What is the path that I am to walk? What, not why. There will always be a why, and there will always be a why to answer. It's like the call. There will always be a divine call to answer. When I unfolded this massage table, all the memories of all the times that I stepped into that path, that I unfolded this massage table, that I set this up for a client session, whether it was at their house or at one of the studios or one of the 2 clinics that I helped to co-create and one that I created on my own, this table traveled the world with me. And I had tears of joy and gratitude because I didn't fit myself into what everybody else thought that I should. I didn't fit myself into the rest of the world. I didn't squeeze myself into becoming a nurse or a doctor or a chiropractor I even thought about naturopath, that was something very new back in 2001 when I graduated university. That would have been an aligned path. Naturopath would have been. But at that point, I had already completed 4 years of university and I was ready to go. I was already servicing clients. I was already helping my peers. I was already attuned to this higher vibrational energy, light, and my intuition that I was ready to go. So waiting another 4 years to become a naturopath, that is not a part of my game plan. What is the fastest way that I can be of service? What is the fastest way that I get to fulfill upon my soul purpose? That was the question I asked. And I went within and I heard, you will find a college that will offer all the modalities that you want to learn. You will become a healer and you will shift the world. You will change the world. I listened to that. I listened to that guidance every step of the way. I stepped in, I said yes. I stepped in, I said yes. I didn't wait until I finished my certification at the holistic college that I went to. My first certificate, I went for it. Most people would be like, well, why? Why do I need to do this? Or what do I need to do in order to do the next thing? You go for it. Could you imagine if I didn't, right? 100%. Could you imagine if I would have waited, if I would have fit myself into becoming a doctor because that's what was normal? That's what was accepted. If I would have waited, if I would have said, you know what, I'm going to wait. Maybe I'll become a chiropractor. I probably would have fit myself into a box because everything along my journey opened up to energy and spirituality. I would have went that route anyway, so I probably would have delayed and prolonged the thing that I knew in my heart. You all have this. There is a calling on your heart. There is something that's placed within your soul always. From the moment you decided to come into this earth experience, from the moment you decided I'm coming to earth, my name is going to be Tara Antler. My name is going to be Christina Whiteley. My name is going to be Heather Stratford. My name is going to be Megan Morey. I choose, and this is what I'm coming in for. And then we get here and we have it. It's intact until the world starts telling us that we're not that. Until we start questioning ourselves, until we stop believing what we know deep in our heart and our soul, and we think that there's something else outside of ourselves to be trusted or searched upon. I'll listen to what they say because that's what's normal. I remember when Gabriel and I, we went to this school. It was, I think, for grade 11 and 12, and it was this camp that they had for a lot of the prestigious high schools in Toronto in the GTA, and they organized this amazing retreat for this age group because they were getting ready to go to college or university. And we went and spoke. And Gabriel did Qigong, I did yoga and meditation, and then we always brought in an inspirational talk. And I remember some of the students afterwards, their jaws were dropped and they were like, but what do you do? And so I was describing to them, I said, well, I do soul coaching. Well, what is that? I do life coaching. Well, what is that? I do energy healing. What is that? They just experienced meditation. They knew about yoga. And they said, but you make a living off of this? And I was like, yes. And I said, I do very well, actually. And their jaws kept dropping. And they said, do you know that in high school, they tell us about 5 potential jobs? I said, 5? I said, there's more than 5 jobs out there in the world. No, there's 5. There's 5 careers that you will be successful at. 5. I said, and you all you hear, and there was at least like 100 students in front of me. I said, you think all 100 of you are supposed to fit yourselves into one of 5 boxes? Is that your truth? And I think that was a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, an engineer, and a teacher. Those are the 5 that were being put onto humanity at that time. And I said to them, I'm like, what do you love? Not why am I here? That's a big question. Why am I here? Well, you're here to experience life. You're here to create. You're here to enjoy your life. There's many whys as to why you're here. But what? What is in your heart? What do you love to do? What calls to you? What speaks to you? And many of the students, one of them said, I love building things. I said, do you know how many areas you could go build something? You could become an architect. You could become a contractor. You could do like interior design. I started listing all these different possibilities and their eyes widened and got bigger. I said, nobody tells you about these things? Nobody talks to you guys about this? No, it's a 5. We have to pick one of 5. And they all felt so much anxiety and so much fear and so much pressure because they were trying to force themselves into one of 5 boxes. This is not right. But this is what humanity, this is what has happened. This is what we do. We try to take our natural born gifts, our abilities, our light, our sunshine, our radiance, and we try to fit them into these one of five. I don't know, maybe it's expanded from there, but we try to fit them into these limited spaces. Now go be successful. Now go do something that's going to light you up and be happy. What? Most of them, I've seen the outcome of that. Most of them, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, they might have enjoyed what they did. Some of them are learning to bring the light into everything that they're doing anyways. But many of them are not fulfilled. Many of them are not happy. Many of them are still searching, had a full career and still searching. Why? Because we stopped listening to ourselves. We stopped trusting ourselves. We stopped knowing that there are answers within. We started seeking outside of self. We started listening to the outside instead of the inside. And this is our time to come back to ourselves. This is our time to come back to what is so natural. Bringing this massage table out, even Zara said to me, she goes, was there ever a time that you doubted yourself, or did you always just know? And I said, when I was 14, I tried to talk to my peers about meditation and yoga and energy. I got laughed at. I got called a weirdo. It was spray painted on the walls. Tara Antler is a weirdo. So I went within. I said I tucked it in, I dialed it back, but it was always there. And other parts of my intuition, other parts of my gifts opened up. It was never a bad thing. It all got opened anyways, because I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid to live outside the norm. I wasn't afraid to do something different. I wasn't afraid to not fit myself into one of these 5 boxes. I was willing to tread new territory, new water. I was willing to walk a new path. Are you being courageous within yourself? There are going to be people that don't understand exactly what you do. Maybe that's part of how you get to re-educate people. There are going to be people who still to this day do not understand about higher self or spirituality or whatever your thing is. Can you know that this is your truth? This is your path. And you're going to ground in, you're going to lock in, and you're going to go anyways. There are many people who are going to question what you're doing. Do you have the internal strength and faith to keep going and doing it anyways? Because it is such a strong call within you that if you were to deny that call, you would probably feel very unhappy and very unfulfilled. This is our time to strengthen. This is our time to rise up even higher. This is our time to access our inner gifts like never before. The world is so ready. It's so ready for us. If ever there was a time for it to be safe on the planet, for us to rise in our truth and our purpose and our gifts and our brilliance and our light, it's now. This is our time to rise. This is our time to let go of the why. Why am I here? Why is this da-da-da? Why la la la? Why? No. What? What did I come here for? What is in my heart? What's in my voice? What's in my expression? What's in my power? What am I doing here? What? When you start asking that question, the answers will drop. They will drop so fast. Then your job in that moment is to listen and take action. Listen and go and make moves. Don't shy away. Don't let fear consume you. Don't let the conversation, if the world's ready for you or not. The world wasn't ready for me back in 2001 when I started studying Reiki and saying, I'm going to be a healer. My parents thought I was joining a cult. I did it anyways. When people wanted aromatherapy, massage, and reflexology, I still brought in energy work anyways. And people piqued, their curiosities got piqued, and they were like, what is that? That's a very different massage. That was very different reflexology. What is that? Well, would you like to hear about the world of energy healing? There is the next wave, the next evolution. Just because Reiki is very well known on the planet doesn't mean that your unique path, your unique purpose isn't what's supposed to come next. And this is why I'm feeling so called. I feel like I need to do that. I woke up with this morning. I was doing yoga and meditation on the deck up there. We're in Northern Ontario again. And I was looking out, and our apple tree, I swear to you, has like, if I was to turn the camera around, it's got, if not 10,000 blossoms, apple blossoms on it. It's the most I've ever seen on the apple tree, because we've been blessing it. We've been loving it. When you nurture something, when you bless something, when you bless yourself, you bless your life, you nurture yourself, you nurture your life, you will grow. So whatever seed is within you, and this is what dropped down when I was doing yoga this morning. I'm like, what if we started helping everybody? And again, if this resonates with you, type purpose in the comments below because I'm curious. Yes, we're going to keep teaching modalities that Gabriel and I know. And what would happen if Gabriel and I started facilitating spaces where we started helping you discover and uncover and remember you and what you came here for? What's been imprinted in your heart? What was given to you in the moment that your soul said, yes, I'm coming to earth? What did you come here for? What's in your heart? Does your soul want to express? I feel so called to this conversation right now because I feel like if each of us could truly uncover this, like the big, what did I come here for? And then you remember, you reclaim it, and then you actually do something with it, you embody it. Talk about heaven on earth. You all know I love talking about heaven on earth. We would experience heaven on earth like that because we each are activating our divine truth and our divine expression. What did you come here for? And can you start to enter a state even now where you already know the answers? Just this conversation alone is probably sparking something in you because I feel it in my third eye, my heart, my throat. My throat has been clearing since I saw these two girls for their VIP session up here. My throat has been opening because I feel like there's a new expression that I probably, even in the conversation that when Zara asked me, she said, did you ever have to suppress who you were? And I said, yes. But other aspects of me opened. Some of you may have had that happen. And I feel like we're in a time where our full self is really asking to open and be expressed. Our full self. Not parts and pieces, not the stuff we've had to hide, not the stuff we've had to suppress, not the stuff that we had to wait until the world is ready. Imagine if we all stepped into, became, remembered, and embodied our full expression. As I say that, this tense energy that I felt around my throat chakra for the last 3 days is open. It's fully expressed right now. That's how you know truth. When you align with your truth and you're like, yes, you're going to feel something inside of you. You're going to feel an awakening. You're going to feel a buzz. You're going to feel the eternal yes. You're going to feel an opening. That is truth, capital T. That's you busting through the barriers, right? Yes to our full self. So one of the things that Zara said to me when she was here, she said, I've always been drawn to spirituality. I've always been drawn to the mystical arts and intuition and things like that. And there's a part of her that thinks maybe I should stop being a lawyer and I should maybe step into this more. And I said, you could do that, or you bring all of that into your lawyership. And she does fund law. They do property law and investment law. So if anybody needs investors for any project or property or thing, let me know. I will connect you with her. She is spiritual. She is open. Her intuition is like, poof, like it's so open. She had visions for things that I've never even spoken out loud for what we want to do with this property. She knew. And so we're going to be having some really fun conversations with her about building retreats and having investors to help us do this, to make this happen fast. This is the miracle of what happens when you align yourself, when you follow that flow. When you listen to the eternal yes and you take a step, the whole universe opens up and makes it easy for you. If things have felt hard, it's probably because there's a misalignment and there's an adjustment that needs to happen. It's kind of like going to a chiropractor, right? When somebody's back is off or their posture is off or something hurts, the moment they get a readjustment, you come back into alignment, you feel good. You function, you thrive. The same is true of your spiritual path that you're walking. If something feels hard, it could be that you're off. If something feels wonky, it could be that you're off, you're misaligned. The moment that you come back into spiritual alignment, all your chakras realign, your energy realigns, everything opens again, the flow begins because you're walking in your capital T truth. You feel it. You're probably not questioning yourself. You're probably not doubting your path. You're probably listening deep within and you're like, yes, and I take the step. This is why I'm asking you, who of you here are curious or want that experience of being able to reach inside yourself and uncover your truth and uncover what you came here for and uncover the greatest light, the greatest gifts of you. And imagine if you stepped into that, remember that, reclaim that, and actualize that. That brings such joy to my being, to my face, to my heart. Leave the word purpose if this resonates with you, because I'm curious. I'm really curious. And then we'll see what gets created from there. So I want to end on this. One of the things that I drew here as well from my Divine Wisdom Insight cards was merge with the soul's view of you. This is the first step. This is the first step. If you want to enter a state where you already know the answers, one of the very first things to do is align with the soul's view of you. When you start to merge your energy with this higher view of you, when you peer into, this is what this goddess is doing here. She's peering into the higher view of her. When you start to see the higher view of you, you remember. Something wakes up within you. When you align with the soul's view of you, this is where the truth starts to drop in. So today, I highly recommend that you take a quiet moment. You place your hands on your heart. Maybe you find a massage table. Jess would know. Jess is here. Jess saw this massage table all the way back to my LA days. This massage table was packed in my little Toyota Yaris, my silver Toyota Yaris, packed to the brim. Drove from Toronto to LA by myself. This massage table was one of the things I brought with me because I was flowing and following my purpose. The soul's view for me said, go to LA. This was before I met Gabriel. Why? I asked the question, why am I going to LA? And the same answer came up over and over and over again. Twin flame, twin flame, twin flame. And I didn't believe it. So I kept asking. I must have asked at least 50 times, why am I going to LA? Twin flame, twin flame, twin. Why am I going to LA? You guys have asked why already. Thank God I finally stopped asking why. I packed up the massage table, packed up my car, and I drove down to LA for however long I was going to be there. And all the things started to unfold and reveal in such a beautiful way. I met Gabriel. I met Jess. I met so many incredible clients. So many opportunities opened up for me. I was 1 degree away from being on Super Soul Sunday, which I'm happy that that didn't happen after all the things that are being revealed in the public eye right now. I'm very grateful that my higher self rearranged that. I'm so grateful for it all. I'm grateful for every step. I'm grateful for every moment that has occurred to this date. And it's not because I kept asking why. It's because I merged with the soul's view of me and I listened. I entered a state where I already know the answers. And then I took a step. And then I'd ask again. I'd tune in again. And then I'd take a step. And I do it again. And I've still been doing it. However many years later, I'm still doing it. And one of the most amazing things is miraculous opportunities open up when you're willing to let go of control. Y'all want control. We all do. And yet when we have control, there's no flow. If you want divine experiences, miraculous experiences, you have to be willing to let go of control, which surrenders you. It takes you deeper into the soul's view of you. If this conversation resonates, type the word purpose. I'm curious to see how many of you are ready for this level of conversation. I'm so excited for what you all are creating. It brings me to such emotion. I'm excited to see where humanity is going, where we stop fitting ourselves into the boxes. The imprint that Gabriel and I left on those kids in grade 11 and 12 that day, I hope that a handful of them decided to not fit themselves into one of 5 boxes and listen to their soul and listen to what their higher calling was and stepped into that instead. Became designers, became creators, became coaches, became healers, became counselors, became whatever. There's so many options here on planet Earth. There's so many ways for you to express yourself and to express your gifts. It is a sacred listening, Lainey, 100%. It's a sacred listening within. And there's so many ways for you to express yourself. I look at the list here, especially on Facebook. I look at Jess. Jess was a teacher. She's a dance choreographer for major productions. Soon she's going to be owning and opening her own yoga and dance studio. I look at Lisa McLean Harris. I can't remember what your original, I think you were a hairdresser. Now she does travel and sacred retreats. I think about Lainey, school teacher, but also inspires youth and helps them step into a more conscious way to create when it comes to tech and computer and things of that nature. I think about Agnes. She became a flight attendant, I think at 60. Is that right, Agnes? A lot of these people that I'm calling out are clients of ours, by the way. This is how I know them so well. Agnes, I think, became a flight attendant at 60, maybe 50, something like that. She's retired now, and she's still being of service in her walking communities, because I think Agnes is probably around 75. She's still being of service, inspiring her community, in her walking community, in cooking for people and bringing joy. At 50, she became a flight attendant. I think about Louise Hay. Many of you know I got to do a session on Louise Hay. She started Hay House at 60. If any of you are ever sitting there thinking it's too late, no, that's an excuse. I'm too old. Cancel, delete that shit. You're not. You're as young as you want to be. I'm approaching 50. I still feel like I'm 35. You can create anything at any point. It's your choice. This is about us tapping back into our truth, our spiritual truth. We first need to merge with the soul's view. We have to come back to the soul's view of ourselves again. Step out of the earth view. Step out of the nonsense that you've been told. Step out of the limitation, whether it's self-imposed or someone else. Let's come back to ourself. It's never too late. I think about Megan. Megan, you've done so many beautiful things. She was a mama. I still look 35. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And Megan loves working with children. She's now a teacher. She's helping children. We still have this view for her to come in and be a part of all of our retreats and the center that we're building. This is why I said to Gabriel, when we got back here, I love this property so much, and yet I felt a thud. Because Mexico's so expansive, like expansive conversations all day long, expansive sky all day long. And here it felt a thud. And I said to Gabriel, it's time for the next evolution of this property. Enter the stage Zara, who I went to university with, who became a lawyer, who does investment property, real estate law now, and says, you know, I see what you want to build here. I can help you. It was like the easiest thing. This is how it's supposed to be for all of us. When we're surrendered to the flow, when we're willing to step outside the box, let go of the limitations, come back to what did I come here for? Stop asking why. You can create anything at any point. You can recreate yourself at any time. You came here to create heaven on earth, however that looks for you. Let's do this now. Someone's trying to call. Let's do this. Who's ready? Who's ready for heaven on earth? I know I am. I'm ready for it now. As I look at our apple tree with like 10,000 plus apple blossoms on it, the most I've ever seen, there's so many apple blossoms on it that it's white. It's white and pink right now, the whole tree. It's a massive tree. I think we're ready. Just like that apple tree is ready to produce massive abundance, massive fruition. I think we're all ready, right? Yes. I'm ready. Claim it. I'm ready. Me too. I'm so ready for this next evolution. I'm ready for this next wave for all of us. I'm ready to support you all in whatever you need to go. Let's do this already so that you get to come to full fruition, whatever that might look like for you. I'm ready. So let's claim that. Find some time today, 5 minutes, connect to your heart, connect to your soul's view. I'm feeling like I live in heaven on earth, right? In so many ways right now. I feel you, Carlin. I think about Carlin as well. Carlin, when I met her, she was an actress in many shows that you've probably all seen. She was drawn to the spiritual work. She was helping her mom work through a lot of physical challenges at that time. She started her own business. She's got tiny rituals. Now she's a mama to 3. They moved into the country. They've got this property. Y'all are ready for it. Best summer ever, round 2, Lisa. Round 2, best summer ever, round 2. And so I feel like we're all ready. So let's claim it. Let's start here and let's claim it. Let's remember. Let's remember. Let's come back to our soul's view of ourselves. Let's remember. Right? Feeling so deep right now, right? I agree with you. I agree with you. This is about coming home to ourselves. And so I'm ready. I think y'all are ready. So I'm excited to pour out whatever's going to come next. Stay tuned. If you resonate, type the word purpose. I have a feeling Gabriel and I are going to create something really cool, is what I was getting this morning on my yoga mat. I know the answers. It will be revealed in the next couple days. I'm sure of it. I'm so happy for you all. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you so much. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for being courageous. If you love this conversation, I would so love if you shared it. I feel like the more we can have this type of conversation, the more heaven on earth gets to be now for all of us. I love you. I love you too. Thank you so, so much. I love you all. I hope you have the most beautiful day today. We'll see you all very, very soon. Thank you so much.